What's up, guys? Welcome back to my channel. What do you think of my shirt? I still have the tag on it. It's very boxy. But I think I like that. I kind of like that oversized, obviously. I like that oversized look. So, write in the comments below, what clothing would you like to see on me in my videos? Yeah, that's a really good use of your time. Alright, this is going to be a really short video, and it's going to be a really short video, and that's what it's going to be. So I'm going to just talk about this little... It was a nothing, but I want to show how it was a nothing, and I want to use it for good to help you all. Alright, so my parents were having a concert. This was last week. And because everything was kind of chaotic, they wanted my help and all of these things. And I was feeling kind of grumbly for different reasons. And one of the things they asked me to do was to walk the dog, which is like, okay, but I, in my little head, had things to do. And so I said yes, because I also have this thing that like, I don't put up much of a fight. When people ask me to do things, it's either a yes or no. And when I decide to go yes, I decide everything always works out for me. Therefore, my doing this will benefit me in some way. And if I decide no, I go, it's fine that I said no. That will benefit me too in some way. So that's like a really good rule to have in place, by the way. Just something to offer you. So I said yes, and it was really icy. And I kind of let the dog decide where to go, but we live near a golf course. And so like, obviously there's lots of there's like kind of this like hydroline path that I go down, and then from there you can like go onto the golf course. And should I not be saying this on camera that I use the golf course? But everyone does it anyway. So it was very, very icy, and basically, long story short, I'm out there and the dog is fine, but I'm kind of like trying to like weave in between like all the ice, the black ice patches, and I missed one and I fell. And I landed. It's so interesting when you fall because you're like, I'm full. And time really does slow down. You're like, here we go. And luckily I only landed on my side. I landed on this side. And obviously it hurt. And the reason that I'm talking about this is because it was so interesting, because in the same way that I had that kind of like slow motion, I'm falling sensation and kind of occurring, I also immediately had in my head, I didn't want to walk the dog, and this is what happens. And I'm going to go back home and I'm going to tell my parents. And I'm going to say like, I didn't want to, and you shouldn't be making me do things and things like this. Like all of this in a split second of me falling. And I thought about my niece, who is about 1 year old at this point, on how she falls all the time. And my reaction to her falling is always like super like, oh, okay. And I just pull her back up. Even if she's like starting to cry or something, like I'm fine about her falling. And I show that I'm fine about her falling, and I show that it's not a big deal. And she's fine. And she's fine. And usually like because I do that with her, she is fine and she forgets about it right away. And so I thought about that. I thought a lot of things during these 5 seconds. And I thought about that and I was like, no, it's fine. It's fine. I'm just going to get up and I'm going to move on in the exact same way that I do with my niece. And that's what I did. And now I know you can kind of be like, oh, but you didn't forget about it. You're like talking about it right now. And I didn't talk about it with my parents. I still haven't told them that this happened. And I almost and I did forget that it had happened too. So that like when I saw a bruise on my knee, I was like, oh, yeah. I'm using, like, I haven't forgotten about it, but I'm using this, like, for good, to show you an example of this same thing can be applied to absolutely anything. I know this is just, like, a simple fall, but this can apply to absolutely anything in your life, in that the same way that you can just be like, oh, you fell. Okay, come back up. Now we're going to go do something else. Absolutely anything in your life, you can do this. You can do this. If you fail, like, don't stay there. Don't stay there. If someone says something bad to you, okay, it's not so much about the thing happening or about you slipping or you falling. It's more about how quickly you're able to recover. Really, really, really. And how quickly you're able to just like put your attention and your focus elsewhere and go enjoy yourself and not have it be a big deal. So that can be about anything. Anything. I really, really mean this. And the more that you do this, like just the more, this is like a kind of new take on resilience became like really popular for a little while. It's not so much, think about this, you don't want to be resilient to the fact where it's like, yeah, bad things happen to me and I deal. Like no one wants that experience. No one wants that life. Please don't pride yourself on that because you're just going to have that in your life and you're just going to create more of that. Please don't manifest that for yourself. I mean, I get it. People can go, well, you're so tough because you get beaten up all the time and then you're still resilient. But another way to look at resilience is just that like nothing gets you. Nothing gets you because you don't let anything be a thing and you're always just moving on to the next thing. That's a different kind of resilience and that's one that I prefer. And then also I think when you don't make a big thing about it, like it doesn't happen for you. It like rarely happens. I'm actually surprised that I fell because I almost never fall. And so I have to think about how I manifested that. I almost never fall and I kind of like, that's probably why I was probably thinking about that. And so I did fall in some way. Anyway, okay. I hope that's helpful for you and that you can apply that. Like apply that with something this week because chances are there is something that happens to you this week that is like a fall and catch it and notice it and just like, I don't care. Move on. For those of you who are interested in email coaching, I am now doing email coaching and I have a brand new website. And so you can go over there. I've put it in the description box below, as well as my email. So you can also just contact me there for the email coaching. But yeah, if there's anything that you are looking for help with, support with, anything you want to create, anything you want to get some clarity on, absolutely anything, hit me up and we can talk. And then, yeah, the website is kind of like a new baby, a work in progress. So if you guys have any ideas about that too, comment below or email me about